Welcome back. We're going to go over AWS Glue, your serverless data integration hub. But before we get started, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this with anyone you know taking the AWS Machine Learning Associate exam. All right. When you have data scattered across different sources and different formats, AWS Glue becomes your central nervous system for making sense of it all. Think of Glue as the intelligent librarian that not only organizes your books, but also understands what's inside them and helps others find exactly what they need. Okay. What is Glue? The foundation. Understand Glue's core mission. So Glue operates as a fully managed serverless data integration service that transforms the chaotic world of unstructured data into organized, queryable information. At its heart, Glue solves a fundamental problem. How do you make raw data sitting in an S3 bucket as accessible as traditional database tables? The magic happens through four key components working together. The Glue data catalog serves as your central metadata repository, storing schema information that services like Athena, Redshift Spectrum, and EMR use to query your data. Glue crawlers act as automated detectives, scanning your data sources to infer schemas and populate the catalog. ETL jobs handle the heavy lifting of transforming data using Apache Spark without requiring you to manage clusters. Finally, partitioning strategies organize your S3 data with logical prefixes that dramatically improve query performance. Glue integrates seamlessly with the broader AWS ecosystem. S3 stores your raw data, while Glue extracts structure from it. Athena uses Glue's catalog to run SQL queries against S3. Redshift leverages external tables through Glue schemas. EMR, Hive, and Presto all benefit from Glue's structured view of your data lake. QuickSight provides visualization capabilities after Glue and Athena prepare your data. The cost model is straightforward. Crawlers and ETL jobs run at about 44 cents per DPU hour, where one DPU equals about 4 virtual CPUs and 16 gigabytes of RAM, while the first million catalog objects are free. Okay, so we're going to see. So we'll get started and show you a little bit about what you can do with Glue. So we'll go to Glue. Let's see. Go to data catalog. Yeah. All right. Not data catalog. We'll go to databases. All right, we'll add a database. Wait, did I already have one? Let's- Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, we'll add a database. All right, and then we'll create, let's say, uh, photo database description. This. Well, we already have databases, right? So I don't necessarily need to confirm crawlers. This is where we'll go. Crawlers. Crawlers. Okay. Create a crawler. Add a crawler name. AI crawler. Okay. Define the. You can add the description. This is optional though, right? Tags, obviously, you should for your environment, your contact, project, team, etc. Data sources. Is you already mapped? No, it's not. So add a data source. Well, S3 is an option. JDBC, DynamoDB, Document DB, Delta Lake, SQL Server, a bunch of different options, right? We can get S3, add a new connection. Why don't I see S3? Huh, data source. In this account. Oh, here's the S3. Okay, so browse S3. Oh, so I'd have to copy the S3 bucket. All right. So, I do S3. I don't have one with this name. Let's say AI database, whatever, right? Crawl all the subfolders or newly subfolders or based on events, right? So that'd be queues sent in here or dead letter queues, just to make sure that you're limiting your scope and your timing, right? Because crawling would probably take a lot of time, right? Um, Sample only a subset. So you don't necessarily have to pull everything, exclude files matching certain patterns. You could add that. And then you add that data source. All right. And then let's see. Let's go next. Let's can we go next? Let's see. We can't go next. Okay. Golly. Okay, let's see. Let's go S3. Okay, let's try this. Add data source. Nope. S3 slash. Okay, got that bucket. Add that source. All right, let's go next. Choose an IAM role. All right. So there's two that are already here: SageMaker Service Catalog Products, Glue role, SageMaker Service Catalog Products, Use role. All right. So the Glue role is more specific towards this. Select this, or we could create a new IAM role as well. Lake formation. This will be for crawling S3. This is more specific permissions, security configurations for at-rest encryption. So there's none currently. You probably have some some other KMS key out of here, but we're not going to bother with that. Okay. You can set your output. So you could use a database, ones that are here. All right, let's select S3 access logs. No, let's say VPC logs. All right, we could add a database, but we're just going to use that just for this. The table threshold sets the maximum number of tables the crawler is allowed to generate. That makes sense. Type of prefix for more specific. So let's say, what do we have here? Boom, that, or maybe it's just that. And your crawler schedule, on demand, hourly, daily. I would say daily makes a good sense at 01, 1 a.m. Next. So here is the final setup, right? AI crawler, description. There's no tags, but you should have them. Type, the data source is S3 from this bucket, recrawls all of it instead of subfolders or prefixes, uses this IAM role for glue, no security configuration, no lake formation configuration. The output, remember you should add that in the table prefix, maximum table threshold, we didn't add any, and it's scheduled for 1 a.m. All right. We're going to cancel because we don't need to create that. It's just going to cause more operational overhead. So once your crawler runs, you'll see tables appear in your data catalog with automatically inferred schemas. This metadata becomes immediately available to Athena for SQL queries, Redshift for external table access, and EMR for big data processing. Let's go here. Okay, so ETL. So visual ETL with Glue Studio. All right. For complex data transformations, Glue Studio provides a visual low-code interface that builds ETL pipelines using directed acyclic graphs, DAG, or DAGs. This approach makes sophisticated data processing accessible to teams without deep coding expertise. Glue Studio has evolved to support an impressive array of data sources, not just AWS services like S3, Kinesis, and Kafka, but external systems like Snowflake, Google BigQuery, Azure SQL, MongoDB, and even business applications like Salesforce, QuickBooks, and LinkedIn. So what you could do is build your ETL pipeline. So go back over here, ETL jobs. All right, it's under Glue. Click Visual ETL. All right. And then author in a format, author using a notebook, author with a script editor. So we'll create a job visually. All right. So what you're going to do is add your source. Let's say an S3 bucket. All right. Oops. What did I just do? All right. Let's go back a little bit. Okay. Visual ETL. I don't use this often. All right. S3. Let's click that. Okay. So you're looking at this S3 location, data catalog, S3 URL. Let's browse that. We'll just use that. Okay. Data format. So define the schema. Let's use JSON. All right. Let's see. JSON path. We don't necessarily need that. Infer the schema. So it's not going to find anything for that. Additional options. Okay. Let Glue automatically choose a sample file, if that makes sense. Or you could choose it from the S3. So make note of that. Set your IAM role, service catalog products, Glue role, or service catalog products, use role. All right. So you could do all of these things, but the Glue role is more appropriate for this. And then this use role would be what's listed in your service catalog. And service catalog is basically you have a limited amount of services you want to have. That's where you go. Let's see. Oops. Data starting up the data preview. Okay. Looking at the output schema. All right. Let's see. We'll go back over here. So you have all this version control. You can push the repo, pull from the repo. So you can save this job. All right. Let's see. What else do we need here? Sorry, I'm not going to pick anything. So it's just going through this, right? And then when you save this, let's see what else we have here. Script. All right, so this is the script that is going forward with this. So these are the the task at top that can use certain resources. So Glue, PySpark, Glue context, Smart context, get the objects with the job name, Smart context, Glue context. And this is the script to get this from S3 in the JSON format, right? Job details here. You can update these properties. And it's pretty simple. We haven't titled it yet. Let's just say AI Glue job, right? Add the description. We have the IAM role, which is the Glue version. That's fine. We don't need to change that, but those are the options. Okay. Which language? Python. Worker type. So this is going to be the node or the compute doing the work. Automatically scale. Well, you want this to do costs and not run into hiccups. That's good. And the number of workers. Let's see. Look at that. Requested number versus automatic maximum number. That's good. Generate job insights on how to optimize this in the future for something similar. Oops. Click that. Job bookmark. I can remember previously processed data. I think that would be good if you're doing something very similar with multiple iterations. That would be very good to enable that. All right, job run queuing, queued later. This might be if you have a lot of service quotas, that makes sense right here. Service quotas. And flex execution to reduce costs. Keep note of that, right? Reduce costs by running this on spare capacity. So it's kind of like spot instances and error retries. That's fantastic. And job timeout if it fails. So this is very important stuff here. And you can go down here for more specifics, which we've already assessed. Glue job, the logs path, the temporary path, delay notifications. This is good stuff for advanced users. All right, so this visual interface will give you the graph. It shows your data flows, the graph, makes it a little easier to understand, and you can modify it, especially here. You can do the get data quality, right, to get some interesting information about how this all works, and version control to basically save your game, right? And where do you want to save it? Code commit, GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket. Those are your typical repos. All right. But what we're going to do is, yeah, I knew that was going to fail. End session. And we're going to, how do we go back? Let's get out of there. All right. So ensuring data quality. All right. So raw data often contains inconsistencies, missing values, and errors that can derail downstream analytics and machine learning models. Glue data quality embeds validation rules directly into your ETL jobs, catching problems before they propagate. You can define rule sets using DQDL, which is data quality definition language, either manually or through auto-generated rules based on data profiling. Common rules include row count expectations, so like a row count between 1,000 and 5,000, completeness check, so this would be an argument that is complete for the name of the job, and then data length validation. So you would look for a column length between, let's say, 2 and 50, right? Characters, right? When violations occur, you can choose to fail the job immediately or log issues to CloudWatch for alerting while allowing the pipeline to continue. This flexibility lets you balance data quality requirements with operational needs. All right, code prep or no code prep with DataBrew. So Glue DataBrew democratizes data preparation by providing a visual, no-code interface for the transform portion of ETL. That's extract, transform, load, those workflows, right? It's really valuable for business analysts and data scientists who need to prepare data sets for machine learning, but don't want to write code. DataBrew offers over 250 built-in transformations covering filtering, joins, imputations, pivots, and scaling, and more. The recipe-based approach records each transformation step, making workflows reusable and auditable. You can output the S3 in various formats, including CSV, JSON, Parquet, and Avro. So let's get in here. Actually, let's save that first. Go over here. DataBrew. Oh, is it not? It's in the other Glue DataBrew. Okay, so that'll be here. All right. So you go to Glue DataBrew, create the project, name this, let's say AI. Yeah, AI Glue DataBrew test. All right, that's the recipe name. From here, you could go for the data sets, or you can import sets from a previous recipe. Recipes are very important throughout AWS, unless you have reusability, right? You can do the different data sets. So let's say data set, you can find one here, samples, or you can do a completely new data set, right? So let's name it data set, right? The same thing, AI sample, but oh, no, that's not what I wanted. All right, so we'll name it AI Glue DataBrew test data set. All right, and then you'll select your source, that same bucket we use as a dummy bucket. And there's, oh, it's a basic text file. No wonder I was pulling for something else. Okay, go in here. That's your data set. All right, so let's look around. Basic define dynamic data set parameters. What can I do? Select files in the parent folder, select files ending in CSV. All right, select files ending with CSV in parent folder and subfolders. All right, specify the specific files to include, the last date, updated date range, right? So let's say the past week. Number of files, nah, that's fine. All right, because there's only one file here. And additional configurations, the file type, what is that? A CSV, that's right. Comma separated values. Columnar values, treat the first row as header, that's good. Sampling. First in rows, last in rows. How many rows do you want to sample? Let's do 25. Let's do 1,000. Because I can't remember. And then tags. This is always good to have as far as what you need for your cost optimization, operations, right? And to just know who's doing what and what is being there. All right. And then you can create an IAM role here. This is for basically access. Name it. Practice. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. And you create the project. All right. So let's click out of that. All right. From here, you can also upload a recipe. All right. This would be something that you've already created in this or another account. And then from this recipe, you can modify steps that we've already done. You can create those DQ rules. All right. There we go. So those data quality rules that we spoke about earlier. All right. You can add these for the rule set names, description with the data set. There's no one here. Okay. But that should lead you towards, the S3, JDBC, et cetera. The rule set. What is it? Rule name 1. What is the rule? What's the data quality check? And what's the success criteria? All right. And you can add another rule and so on. And data quality check here for number of rows, number of columns, duplicate rows, correlation. This is good for your data quality and for your creation. All right. Your jobs here. So this is where you put your outputs, and this is where you determine where you would download this. All right. So this could be another S3 bucket or a database. And then you can set this for that S3 location. Excuse me. All right. You create that run job to create the profile. So you can get summaries and stats about your data, assess it in terms of structure, content, relationship, and derivation, and then you can schedule it. All right. So DataBrew's visual interface shows data distributions and metrics, and it helps you understand your data before applying transformations. The preview functionality lets you see the results and then ensures the transformations can work as expected. So this is a good way to walk through for someone who's not a code proficient person. Next portion, my favorite. Handling sensitive data responsibly. All right. Save that. In today's compliance-focused environment, Properly handling PII, which is personally identifiable information, is crucial. DataBrew provides multiple built-in transformations for de-identifying or removing sensitive data, and it supports compliance with standards like HIPAA or GDPR. So that would be like your names, your addresses, any information along those lines, date of birth, social security number, credit card numbers, all those things, health information, all of that. So techniques include substitution, which would be replacing names with random values, shuffling, which means swapping values across rows, masking, which would be displaying partial data using the stars. Like you think of your 16-digit credit card number, typically 12 of those will be a star, right? And then hashing, that would be a one-way anonymization using SHA 256. You can also delete or nullify, which means you can drop sensitive columns, and you can have deterministic encryption, which would be reversible with a fixed key. So these transformations integrate seamlessly into your DataBrew recipes, ensuring PII handling becomes a standard part of your data preparation workflow rather than an afterthought. Cost management. You're going to need to know this. All right. So understanding DataBrew's pricing helps optimize costs, right? So for interactive sessions, the cost can be about $1 per session, while job runs can cost for about 48 to 50 cents per node hour. There's a lot of compute and storage going on. For exploratory work, use interactive sessions efficiently by preparing multiple transformation recipes before running production jobs. Consider scheduling jobs during off-peak hours, remember that scheduling, and using appropriate instance sizes based on your data volume. The recipe approach helps here. You can develop and test transformations interactively, then run the production job only when you're satisfied with the results. And choosing the right tool. Glue for ETL. All right. Each Glue component serves specific use cases in your data pipeline. Use Core Glue for serverless ETL and schema discovery when building data lakes. Use Glue Studio excels at complex visual ETL pipelines that require multiple sources and sophisticated transformations. Glue data quality ensures data integrity by embedding validation rules directly into ETL jobs. DataBrew provides no-code data preparation that democratizes pre-processing for machine learning-ready data sets. The integration between these tools creates a comprehensive data preparation ecosystem. You might use DataBrew for initial data cleaning and exploration, then move to Glue Studio for complex multi-source transformations, with data quality rules ensuring consistent output throughout. AWS Glue transforms the traditional, complex, and code-heavy world of data integration into an accessible visual environment where data engineers, analysts, and scientists can collaborate effectively to build robust, scalable data pipelines that power analytics and machine learning initiatives. So that's this section on Glue. I wanted to thank you for joining me. Hit the like, subscribe, and share this with anyone you know who's interested in the AWS Machine Learning Associate exam. Anyways, thank you for joining me and have a great day.